Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Ricardo, and I'm coming to you live from the Phastek studios. We're here on our truck page. If you guys are following along, you've been following along with us for the past little while. I want to thank you for joining us, and what we're going to kind of go over today is exhaust systems. Something that really kind of sets your truck apart, mainly because it's the sound of your truck, right? It's the attitude behind it. It's you know, you're going down the highway, you're off-roading, you're slinging some mud, you got everything just kind of jiving, and the exhaust system is really kind of what's going to kind of set you apart. Only because it's going to be your taste, it's going to be your sound, and it's what you want. But before you decide how much you're going to spend or which brand to go with, what style, or everything like that, there are a few little details that you might not have thought about that you want to think about and kind of put in the back of your head. So that way, when you're looking at exhaust systems on our website, you know exactly what you're going to be looking at and what to look for and how to decipher some of the finer details that probably a lot of manufacturers don't really tell you. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to pull you guys up here, okay? Now I'm going to pull you guys up mainly because I want to answer some of your questions. I want you guys to chime in. I want you to ask the question. So if there's something that you've been thinking about, you've been wondering, how does that work? How does this fit here? How does that go here? What's the difference between this or this? Go ahead and chime in. I'm going to pull you guys up here, and I'm going to get you guys so that way we can answer your questions here live, because obviously we are here live, and I'm not really kind of going anywhere but there. So I want you guys to really kind of ask the questions. So please chime in. Let us know what you guys think about these exhaust systems, or if there's any questions you guys might have concerning anything. And guys, I'm going to let you know there are no stupid questions. Okay? Right off the bat, there are no stupid questions, because you know what? There might be 10 other guys that asking the same things themselves, but they're just not asking the question. We're here to answer it, just so you guys can be knowledgeable and y'all are educated, so that way you guys know exactly what you're looking at. So, exhaust systems. First off, we're going to start with is what style of exhaust system. Now, there's a lot of different styles. Okay, now you have your exhaust exits on the full bumper side, here off the side, in front of the rear tire. So where do you want it? That's kind of your style. On a truck, all going to be catback systems. So when you're looking at systems and you're looking at catback here or there, which one do I go with? Cars are a little bit different. I know you guys might see car stuff and you see like this term called axleback. It doesn't apply to a lot of trucks, mainly because the mufflers you guys have sit almost dead center of the truck. So a lot of manufacturers, instead of making something that's on the back half, which is axleback, which basically starts in the rear axle, a lot of your trucks don't have anything muffled on the backside. It's basically just all the piping. So a lot of systems that you're going to find and you're going to see for trucks are going to be catbacks. So that's the first thing you're going to really kind of see. That's the first thing you're going to want to pay attention to. It's going to be a catback system. If you see anything else, then it might be a little bit different depending on the system that you're looking at. There are some systems that basically have muffler dumps and right out the back of the muffler, and it's done. That's it. That's for you hardcore guys that are really just out there and you who all just, hey, I want it loud. It dumps right after the muffler. Oh. Technical difficulties with the camera, but hey, that's what you get when we're live, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. I know we check the batteries, but who knows? Anyways, we're here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and I have a truck here. I have a 2018 GMC Sierra 1500, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's dirty. Okay, it's not clean. I didn't clean it because I wanted to show you something that was real life. It's been used. Lately here, the weather hasn't been that great, so obviously it's kind of been used. I mean, that's what it is. But hey, being truck owners, these things don't stay clean for very long. I mean, let's face it. So I'm gonna get my camera guy. Hopefully that camera all works out. You know, he's got it there. Hopefully it's not too bad here. But we're gonna get him over here, and I'm gonna walk under this truck, and I hope you guys, you know, can kind of see, and we'll see what happens as far as this camera is concerned. So he's got it there, he's got it going. So we'll see what happens. But a catback system, okay? Hopefully you guys can see me here. Catback system, how does it entail? How does it work? And like I said, I have questions, so in case you guys have any questions, I have you guys pulled up here. Catback system is basically going to start after your catalytic converter. Okay, now in a lot of trucks, you Silverado and Sierra guys, your catalytic converter basically is right here by the transfer case if you got a 4-wheel drive, or if you got a 2-wheel drive, it's still in that same location. Obviously, you just don't have the transfer case. Now, there's your catalytic converter. Now you have your primary cat, so the further up, and you have your secondary cat. That secondary cat is really where we're talking about. Behind that secondary cat starts your catback system. Now your factory system has the same mounting point and everything. So one thing you want to pay attention to is mounting. When they say catback system, typically most manufacturers will say the catback systems are going to be mounted right back in the factory location, whether it's a ball style clamp, whether it's a slip-on clamp, or really kind of goes from there. But depending on the clamping location and the clamping style, catback systems are going to go right back in. So they're going to be complete bolt-on systems, not something you have to cut and weld. That's not how we work. That's not how a lot of manufacturers do it anymore. A lot of manufacturers are really going to bolt-on systems. They do the best job they can, so that way a lot of systems are just going to be bolt-on, straight bolt-on. So then you have your intermediate tube right here, and your intermediate tube is going to vary when it comes to size. So yes, there's you guys that have the single cabs, you guys have extended cabs, you guys have the crew cabs, the 4 doors, long bed, short bed. This intermediate pipe right here is going to be where the difference comes in with the different systems. So you might see some systems that are going to say that fit all models. Okay, and that's basically because the manufacturers made it simple and said, you know what, we're just going to make this one style system. It's going to fit all models, and we're going to make sure to integrate any piping or anything we need or you need to fit all kinds of models. So here's this pipe here. You might need something that's a little bit longer, might need something that's a little bit shorter. If you need something shorter, obviously we can cut. And the manufacturers tell you where to cut, how much to cut, and stuff like that. So it's a good thing that these guys have these instructions to let you guys know where to bolt it and cut it and go from there. Now, if you need to add piping, you guys got the long bed, you got the crew cab long bed, right? You got something, that's a leg long truck, right? So if you need that, a lot of manufacturers will give you another extra pipe that will take up the distance that you need. And then from there, a lot of things flow into the muffler. So your muffler right here is pretty much what you're going to be expecting to be variant as far as different catback systems are concerned. So depending on the manufacturer you're looking at, let's say you're looking at Borla or MBRP right here, our buddies at MBRP, or you're looking at Corsa, Flowmaster, MagnaFlow, you know, I mean, I can go on and on with these different names and to kind of give you guys different systems. All they're going to have their different sounds. But essentially, most of them are very similar when it comes to intermediate pipe. Mufflers change, and then the over axle portion is where the rest of the piping comes in. Now, you can have a dual out mufflers. Now, most systems on these trucks are going to be dual out mufflers. Okay, the dual out muffler is basically going to allow them to run the 2 different style tips. Now, if you ran the single tip, obviously that's going to be a 1 out. Okay, so that 1 out is going to go back to the single tip that's going to sit right behind the tire. You go to the dual out, that's going to go either obviously the dual out to the sides, whether it's behind the bumper or behind the rear tire, depending on where you go and which system you go with. Now, what you can also get, now this is available in some systems. Some systems you can get the system where it exits in front of the rear tire. So essentially you're going to have your tips come out to this side in front of your rear tire. Okay, so that's for the kind of you street guys, more of you like you short bed guys. I know a lot of you guys like the exhaust systems right there. And I'll admit myself, if you're at the drag strip, you're doing a burnout, you're having some fun with your truck, that exhaust flow that's going to spit out, it's going to just dump all your smoke and everything that's coming off your tire is just going to shoot out. So it looks really cool in pictures and videos. It looks really cool. But if you want that, that's more of a kind of a hot rod style. Maybe some guys with the lifted trucks, you might want that too, so that way you're not worrying about all the piping and everything back there when you're off-roading. That's not a bad thing either. But it is going to come out right here, and it's only on some systems, so kind of be on the lookout, pay attention to that. So that's really kind of where exhaust systems kind of are on these trucks, whether it be a Sierra, Silverado, either way. All the exhaust systems are going to essentially be from that point to that point, or here, depending on where you go with. Now, so we kind of covered the basics of the exhaust system. That's really what it is. Your factory systems are going to be one piece, so I will fill you guys in on that. Your factory systems are going to be one piece, so it is going to take a little bit of maneuvering or cutting depending on where you're at when you're getting it installed. If you're doing it yourself in your driveway, you might want to cut the factory exhaust. If you want to keep the one-piece exhaust, then you're going to need a little bit more room when it comes to getting that exhaust system out. So kind of keep that in mind. Depending on where you go, depends on what you might have to do. So that's exhaust systems 101, really. That's kind of the basics. Jumping further into it, and that's why I have these samples here. Okay, our buddies at MBRP, if you guys haven't been to our YouTube channel, go ahead and go over there, check it out. There's a nice video that we just published here about a day or two ago about the different style of metals. I'm going to go over it really quickly, but that other video, I go into depth on it. So you really kind of want to go, if you really want to understand what the different styles are, go check that video out on your YouTube channel. So as you can see here, I got these different samples. Now, these are all brought to you by our buddies at MBRP. Good buddies of ours. We like them. They send us a bunch of different samples, a bunch of different stuff. And as you guys can see, here's the old MBRP logo, and here's the new one. Now that truck here, we put this exhaust system on, oh man, a while back, but MBRP recently has updated their logo to a nice, cleaner looking logo. I like this one a little bit more. That one wasn't bad. It was a little aggressive, but MBRP is going after a cleaner style. So be on the lookout for a new MBRP logo if you haven't noticed it already. So, exhaust systems, covering essentially what style material. Okay, you guys might be looking at the exhaust systems and you see the one that's aluminized steel like MBRP makes, U304, like Borla, 409, like some other manufacturers, and then you obviously have the coated systems. So you're kind of wondering what's the difference between each one, what makes one better than the other? That's one question we kind of always get, you know, which one's going to be best for my truck and which one am I going to not have a problem with? That's always kind of something that's a main concern for people because let's be honest, I mean, you want something that's going to last the lifetime of the truck, right? Why not? We all do. Obviously, you can change it up at any time, but it's always up to you. Now, the different styles that you're going to kind of come across is the aluminized, the 409, the 304, and the black. Okay, those are going to be the main four ones. Now, not all systems are offered in the various styles or various finishes. Okay, not all four are available by every manufacturer. Some manufacturers stick to one style, that's it. Our guys at MBRP, they stick to all four. They will offer you a variation of stuff. So it really kind of depends on where you want to go. Other manufacturers, it just depends. So depending on who you're looking at, depends on what material they might make it out of. So to kind of give you a cover basis, if a manufacturer makes their stuff out of aluminized steel, that's going to be this one right here. Okay, I'll move this tip over here. That's going to be this one right here. That's the aluminized steel. Now it looks nice, looks good. Don't get me wrong. It fits. You're going to have a nice, long-lasting system. There's going to be absolutely nothing wrong when it comes to this system. All the marks here you see here, you might think something's wrong. No, that's just the machine mark. That's where the machine grabs the pipe and obviously produces the bends. So that's going to be on every system. Does not matter the manufacturer. Aluminized. Aluminized is really going to be for those guys that don't deal with a lot of rolled salts. You really don't deal with a lot of it. Climate conditions really just stay the same through most of your life, most of your truck's life and your daily life, and it goes from there. But aluminized is really for those guys that live down somewhere, like I said, not a lot of road salts, something that's going to be a little tamer when it comes to climate conditions, something that's going to be not deteriorate basically the material. Now, that's not to say it's still not a quality system. It still is. It's just they have the budget friendly in mind, and that's where the 409 comes in. Now, with this system from MBRP, you still get a 3-year warranty, so it is something that's still covered. So if there's something that's wrong with the system, hey, I need to get it checked, double check the warranty. It still comes with a fabulous 3-year warranty, so it's really not a problem from there. That's aluminized. Quick, cover the bases, right? 409. 409 is going to look very similar to aluminized, as you can see. They look very similar. 409 is still a stainless steel, okay? But 409, the grade material behind it still allows, you know, if you're still dealing with road salts and everything from there, it will not impact as bad as the aluminized, but it will still be impacted by the road salts. It still just happens. It's one of the kind of the nature of the beast, you know. So if you guys are, you know, I would say probably the middle of the states, you're probably good with a 409 system that's going to last a while. Okay, now it comes into, you know, if you guys are dealing with a lot of snow and everything from there, then if it snows 3 or 4 months out of the year, then I'm probably going to suggest the little more expensive 304, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But that's 409. Okay, still very nice, very good material. Now, a lot of guys will see this on 409. Okay, now I'm going to point this out because I see a little bit here. Now, I've had this 409 pipe out in the shop a little bit, so it's got a little bit, I mean, I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. Those little brown spots, that's just kind of surface rust. There's nothing wrong with the system. Nothing's eaten through on the other side. 409 tends to do that. It's just kind of the nature of the beast of the material when it comes to that. You get a little bit of surface rust. It's not going to damage anything. It's not going to really protrude through the system. Now, I'm not going to say 50 years down the road, it might not protrude a little bit, but for most of the lifespan of the truck, of the system, you're not going to have any problems out of a 409 system. So it's really something to kind of pay attention to. But the climate conditions do play a factor into it. So, something to think about. Now, you guys that are dealing with road salts, you deal with snow, and it's just kind of the nature of the beast in your area where you might live and what you deal with. MBRP understands that 100%, and I'm going to let you know why, is because their main facility is in Canada. Guess what happens in Canada 3 or 4 months out of the year? It snows. It snows. It's cold. Down here in Texas, not so much, but but up there, you guys deal with a lot of snow, and it piles on. And hats off to you guys for dealing with that, because I don't know if I could. So 304. 304 stainless. This is not going to have a problem against virtually anything. So if you guys are dealing with snow, you're dealing with road salt, you deal with it for quite some time, and you daily drive your truck, then a 304 stainless system is probably going to be what you want to look at. It's going to be the most expensive one, but it's going to last. And when I say last, it'll be around for 50 years on your truck, as long as your truck's still working. So this is really nice. It's a really good system. Now, as you guys can see, they're all built the same. Okay, so they have the same bends, same machining marks. That's all normal. Okay, when you guys get these systems, all those machining marks, little scratches here and there, that's all normal. Now, the only thing with 304, as you can see this, you see this color of the system, okay? And not all 304 is going to kind of look the same, depending on where the manufacturer gets their 304. Not all of it's going to look the same. But what is going to happen with the 304 system, it is going to change color due to heat. So this system will change colors. Obviously, at the hotter point, it's going to be a different color, and then at the furthest tip, or for the furthest end. At the furthest end, it might not look like it would, but next to the catalytic converter. Next to the catalytic converter, that's going to be your hot point. That's going to be the hottest point of the exhaust system. So that point, it will change color. It might look a little purple, a little orangish, just depends, okay? But that is completely normal. It's the nature of the beast as far as material is concerned. The further away you get from it, the less color you're going to get out of it. Cool, no problem. Now, coated systems, okay? Now, coated systems, obviously, depending on the manufacturer, some manufacturers, when they stick to one style, material, they're going to coat that material in whatever coating they want. So if you want to go with, let's call it Borla, because I know Borla has some black tip systems. If you want to go with the Borla system, they might take the same 304 material that they use, and they're just going to coat it. So the price point of it is going to kind of jump a little bit, just because they are going to have to go through the process of coating that material. Now, what MBRP has done, okay, is that they have taken their aluminized systems, okay, and they said, well, if we're going to coat it, it's going to be a little protected. It's going to have a little more protection behind it. So what they have done, they've taken their same aluminized systems, okay, and they've just coated it. Okay, they've coated it. They've nice powder coat over it. It's going to have a little bit more protection, and everything's coated, guys. I mean, everything down to the welds, the hanger, all the way down. It's all coated. Got you nice and nice, good coverage. Now, this system is going to be more if you guys are looking for the stealth look. You want something a little sneaky. You don't want people to notice your tips or maybe think you have an exhaust system. That's where this black system is going to kind of come in. Only because, now this is not a truck tip. Okay, it's not a truck tip, I know that. It's a Camaro tip. Now, but the tips are also going to be coated. So, you're going down the road, everything's put together, you got it all put together. Your tip's going to blend in with your system. Now, not the whole system will be covered, because there's no point in covering the whole system, especially when most of it is going to be under the truck and you're not going to see it at all. they coat mainly the back portion. So when I say the back portion, tip included, okay? When I say the back portion, most of it down here. Now, obviously, I have the other side. I know. If you want me to be correct about it. It's essentially right there. Okay, now this doesn't go to this truck, so the hanger's in a different location. All that stuff is different, okay? So, but what it is it's gonna hide everything. So if you're looking at it from the back side, it's gonna blend in with all your undercoating and all your other stuff you have on the bottom side of the truck. Same goes for the tip. So that's where the black coated systems come in, and that's where they really kind of shine, is that if you want something that's gonna be a little bit more sleek, a little more hidden per se, then you're really kind of gonna want to go from there. So that's gonna be cool. I like the black coated systems only because I'm more of the hot rod kind of guy, so I like the stealth look. I like the stuff to be hidden. That's my personal preference. Some of you guys, y'all want the tips. You want it to be seen, and there's nothing wrong with that. So definitely, this is the truck tip, okay? As you guys can see here, they've kind of upgraded a little bit, but there's your truck tip. So definitely, if you want something that's going to kind of be seen, nothing wrong with this. And these, all MBRP tips are 304 stainless, so you don't have to worry about anything happening to these. And then they're polished, nice, real high quality, real good stuff. So you guys can always polish this if it ever gets dirty, starts to kind of collect the soot and everything from the exhaust. Polishes up real nice, and then go right back to what this is. So that's really cool. And that really kind of goes for any tip. Most tips on exhaust systems are going to be the same. So they're going to be a lot of 304, a lot of polished. Now they are going to have different designs. This is kind of a rolled tip. Okay, this one's got a little lip on the inside, and then it rolls to the inside from there. Some manufacturers do have slash cut tips, which MBRP has their slash cut tips for their muscle line. So the Camaros and stuff like that, Corvettes and stuff. So they use the slash tips. Trucks, y'all get the roll tips. Now, still good looking tip. Nothing against that. So that's the basics. That's kind of what you want to be looking at as far as exhaust systems. They're all going to be catbacks. They're all going to be variations of it. The different manufacturers have different materials they cover. MBRP uses all four, so depending on the system that you're looking at, you might have the option to go something a little cheaper and it's compared to something that's a little more expensive, depending on your geographical location. So hopefully that works out for you. So I'm going to get you guys here. Oh, thought I had it pulled up. I'm going to get you guys here. Hopefully you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and chime in. No problem asking. No problem answering them. If we didn't answer your question, hopefully I did. If we didn't answer your question, go ahead and leave it in the comments anyways, and we'll come back into answer to it. If you don't want to leave a comment, not a problem. Understand. Give our sales guys a call if you're still wanting to know a little bit more about the system and figure out which one's going to work best for your truck. Give our sales guys a call or shoot them an email. Send us a message as well. We'll be here. We can answer all the questions you want for virtually any system that you might be looking at. Stay tuned for a whole lot more coming down the line for you Silverado and Sierra guys, because we are working on a lot of things on the back end. So hopefully everything pans out and you guys get everything you guys might be looking for. That's exhaust systems. Like I said, I hope I answered your question. If we didn't, again, let us know. We'll do the best we can to answer. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time here in the Phastek studios, and we're going to talk trucks next time, so we'll see what's going on with that. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you guys next time.